Dude, I mean, yeah, you can definitely sing for the intro.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great.
Bracket bitches, here we are, where you don't see us yet.
Yeah, bracket bitches, here we are. Now you see us. What is up, y'all? Welcome to Monday night. Welcome to the official first episode of Bracket Bitches for the NFL playoffs. I'm Tushka. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. We'll go down with Soul below.
I'm Son.
Hey, Soul. I didn't know if we were going to do anything else. Josh.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
All right, that's enough now because we don't want to get copyright. Sure.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, it is good to be here. Cheryl, thank you for joining. She's already asking here to get sports updates. Yeah, probably because we lost access to our pool. Because they said that we didn't have to pay, then all of a sudden they changed their mind. So that was cool of them. That's so cool. Oh, this is fun.
I mean,
we're not
probably
live
'cause-
on Twitch.
The Kansas City won, so now you have to pay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
On that, but
There we go. Okay, now we're live. Now we're live on Twitch. At least we're getting there. Yeah, it didn't like the asterisks. It was the special character. What's up, Twitch? Welcome. You're late to the party, but it's okay because we're just getting started. Yeah, this is Bracket Bitches, where each basically sports tournament, we're going to try to actually do a little bit of a pool with our Discord members and Patreon members, and then just kind of go through week to week, as far as, what the updates are. And right now we're actually watching the Eagles actually falling short and falling behind the Buccaneers, but they're gaining a little bit of steam, right, Josh? I know you've been paying attention a little bit more. So what should we expect in the second half?
yeah, I expect the Eagles to at least rally a little bit, get a little bit better at defense, maybe make some adjustments. Who knows? But for the past month, the Eagles have looked like they don't care.
Yeah.
And they started the game out looking like they don't care because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are okay at best. They're part of that division that no one wanted to win, and so they had to end up really scrouching out a 9-0 victory over the hapless Carolina Panthers just to win the division. So, but they're going against an Eagles team that they're here because they want to, but they're coming out the second half. They didn't move the ball very well, but the defense is starting to lock down. So it's an only 8-point game. So it's a ball game. This is what you want. Unlike the first 3 games, well, 2 of them happened. One of them didn't matter. Well, we won't talk about that one. And
just because of mine's right, obviously.
Yeah, you're all's.
Mhm.
And then the Texans Browns game. Then another game happened, and then there
was
one got
another under
postponed.
4 feet of snow. I mean,
they finally did it.
Yeah,
They
that was
finally
crazy
played
today.
today, and then on top of it, you had an historical event that happened last night.
The bad side of history, the wrong side of history, that is, unfortunately for the Cowboys. But yeah, today the Bills took care of business against the Steelers. Steelers actually kind of started mounting a little bit of a comeback, which was interesting.
That's what the Bills do.
To kind of see, right? Yeah, either they've got to do something to give a little bit of heartburn or indigestion for their fans. So Justin, hopefully you had your Tums and your blood pressure medicine with you. But they did pull it out, and they still look pretty good. Maybe a little bit banged up. Some of the players went out during the game, so we'll see how they fare during the week. They can just, to me, they just need to take the week off. Just take your time. Go ahead and take an early vacation. Spend time with the family, because that's what me as a Chiefs fan, I really care about.
That's what I say. Is there something behind that comment?
Not at all. Nope.
Something behind sponsor.
How do you think their fans fared?
I do need to get a couple of this.
As they were panning to just people in that stadium having to bring up their own shovel to shovel snow so that it could sit in their seats.
Yeah, they were completely covered by snow, and they had paid up to 200 people to come in from midnight, really whenever they wanted, but they could start coming in at midnight this morning and, basically shovel before the game. And a lot of them didn't even have shovels. They had like cardboard that they were just scooping and throwing. But
and then it snowed again.
Yeah. Well, it snowed again, but then also I don't know if everybody knows exactly the physics of snow, but if it doesn't melt or like you got to get rid of it somehow, and they're just like throwing it down from the top, and it's landing on all of the lower levels. So right before kickoff, everybody in the lower deck really had a hard time getting to their seats.
Here, I'll
Maybe
show
it
you
was
this.
a Robin Hood moment. Be like, okay, the poorer folk that have to sit up top in the nosebleeds, they get nice and clear.
Father of the year of them walking
Yes.
to their seats.
Yes, thank you.
So
Yeah.
this was just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So,
And then the kid, keep playing it because the freaking kid, dude, just I'm gonna scoop it back, just
Right.
scooping it in. Like what it was. Stop! I just cleared that, son.
right.
Yeah.
So,
And then then they get to the end. He turns around. And he's like, oh, all right, well, let's go back. let's go back,
Yeah.
Troy, Palamo.
and people are like, and this is the whole like talking point of, should they have a covered thing? And then they're like, no, because it's a Burger football. And it's just, and that's the thing. It's like Buffalo, this is what they love. They like the fact that this happens. Well, let me tell you about a science experiment. Not really a science experiment, a thing called the lake effect. And this happens to Buffalo every year. It happened last year when they had to postpone it. That's the reason that this game was postponed, is because the Steelers couldn't get there. That was the reason it got postponed. The Steelers arrived today. Unlike the Chiefs game, that was ungodly 30 below wind temperature, but they still played that. But the reason that was played and this one wasn't, and because of snow, it's because
Here's your beverage.
Yep, it is because of the snow being an issue and them just not being able to travel. It has really nothing to do with the winter elements, actually. So
Yeah. Kansas City, they did have snow, but they were prepared for it and they were able to clear it out. Plus, they didn't get as much snow.
No.
But they also played 2 days earlier.
Yeah.
So that was the thing where people wanted them to postpone it. But today was actually going to be like the worst of the storms. So
it's 6 inches here in Nashville. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
in
you guys
Nashville.
could have just played it in Miami where it's nice and warm.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't think they would say no to that because, the Eagles are playing in Florida as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the Kelsey family would have loved to have enjoyed that. But no, it was good to have a home game for the city because we may not get another home game. So this is the first year the Chiefs are actually going to be playing an away game underneath the Pat Mahomes regime. He has never played he has never not played a home playoff game, and he has 11 playoff wins. So 11 straight games at home. I mean, it's stupid. But also it's needed. I mean, you gotta get that out of the way. So we look forward to getting our first win next week. Cheers, all the fans.
I mean, low key, that Super Bowl that Tampa beat you guys, which I was rooting for.
Yeah, that was a home
that
game
whole
for you
time.
guys.
That was a home game for Tampa. That was an away game for Casey.
Yeah, that was a home game for Brady and the bunch. Yeah.
Oh, Brady Bunch, gotcha. Cool. That was a nice little pun there. You didn't. I don't know if you went for it, but I'll applaud you for it.
I did. I'm glad you explained it. It makes it that much funnier.
That's what I do. I like to ruin dad jokes.
God dang it, dude. What are you, a mom?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Moms are awesome. Moms have good sense of humor as well. But yeah, and not to bring it down, but I do feel needed to send some thoughts and prayers to some families up in Kansas City. Actually had a friend pass away and two others that were friends of friends that they actually had died in the backyard. There was a person indoors. We don't know speculation wise exactly what happened. Hopefully they get autopsy and everything kind of getting taken care of, and we'll get some answers soon. But yeah, man, just praying for those families that are mourning, as well as a lot of my friends. It was a high school buddy. So David Harrington, man, cheers, pouring one out for you, brother. You're one of the good ones, man. You always had energy and a smile on your face, man. You always brought it a good time, and I know they're gonna miss you up there, brother. But hopefully you're enjoying the playoffs from heaven, though. But anyways, had to say that, not to bring it down. But yeah, the weather's real, guys. Just be safe. Be fucking safe. And it looks like the Eagles.
And I know
are
I
not
joked
being
that
safe.
come to Florida, but I don't.
Yeah.
We don't like the snowbirds here. We
Yeah,
can
right.
leave our state.
Yeah, exactly.
Come back in the summertime.
But they
We'll
help
allow
your
you
economy.
That looked like a helmet to helmet.
Then
So
they should learn how to drive.
yeah, so Jalen Hurts just rushed. I don't know if they called that back, but it looked like a little bit of a helmet to helmet. And oh, wow, yeah, this Bucs defense, they're on fire right now.
Mm-hmm.
They are swarming to the ball, and I thought that was almost good. Thank God, I guess, for the Eagles. The Eagles are thanking God for progression
Right.
because they were driving that sucker back into the end zone. But yeah, so you want to kind of you did such a great job with the other bracket. You want to kind of break down a little bit as far as what we kind of have going on in our league?
Do we really?
Well, let's go with the 2 games where all of us decided the same exact team. One where we were all right.
Yeah.
And one where we were all very wrong.
Yep.
And going to that, so Bills Steelers, all of us picked the Bills. So there you go, Justin. I know Justin was giving us some flack in the chat last time because we were joking that the Bills should lose to the Steelers because we were in our feelings, mainly me. But they won. We all picked them. They won. They're going forward. The one that we were all very, very wrong was Texans Browns. So I'm gonna throw to Josh. Want to talk about that game, Texans and Browns?
Yeah, Joe Flacco came back to earth, threw it to the other team more than he threw it to his. Basically, that was kind of the tale of the tape. C.J. Stroud is the truth. He's here to stay. Now, all the Carolina fans I know are kicking themselves still to this day, but the Texans, they're not. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. I think they've finally got a decent front office. You would think they definitely have a coach for sure. A quick turnaround, but this is how much it's a quarterback league for a reason. And anytime that your starting quarterback can make Nico Collins a household name, nothing against Nico, but this is like his 3rd year, but he's been balling, and that's because C.J. Stroud. And C.J. Stroud was making the plays that he was, but also it helps that, and that was a great Browns defense, but it also helps that you have the Joe Flacco's of the world throw it to the other team. So there you go.
I'm just here just eating up.
I agree. Well, what's up? Sorry, guys.
And
Distress eating.
Because you're going forward. Why are you stress eating? Your team won.
That's a plate, dude.
It is a plate. Yeah. No, shout out to Victory Life Church. Yeah, no, we had an event and we had a lot left over. So
charcuterie.
they were like, would anybody want to take this home? I'm like, I will.
Yeah.
I will take one for the team.
I see some vegetables on there, so
Good.
I'm proud of you.
It's such a good plate.
Yeah. Got a little
Is
bit
there fruit on there too?
Yeah, fruit. We got some veggies.
What food are you going to feed Josh through the interwebs?
Say again?
What food do you want to feed Josh through the interwebs?
You're going to love this brioche cheese, bro.
Oh, man, I was really hoping for Gouda. You can't sleep on the Gouda.
It's a little pickled. I don't know what they call them.
And those like the
dill.
I don't know what gherkin?
Party spears. I forget what they're called.
I think she's right. It's a fancy tray, so I have no idea what the names of most of the items are.
I'm gonna then now throw to Tushka because the Lions and Rams game, that one was kind of an exciting game a little bit. And it was 1 point difference there. So if you want to speak about that game.
Yeah, Lions, Rams. Rams were actually up pretty much most of the match, and the Rams kind of made a little bit of a comeback in the third quarter, but the Lions were able to fend them off. Up the plate as a Super Bowl contender. Oh, dude, right? Dude, tell me about it, man. I mean, bro, I got like ranch, I got jelly mix, I got some nuts, olives as well. Yeah, we live in large down here. But Sorry. This is good radio, guys. Do some ASMR. But
Just bite into a
I
carrot.
forget what the phobia is for people that don't like the sound of chewing.
Oh my god, right.
There's a phobia.
I don't have a phobia, but I definitely do not like it. I don't like smacking.
Yeah.
I'm
My dad
always
does
like
that all the
super
time.
like self-conscious if I do that myself. So I'm just like, but no, with the Lions and Rams game, there we go. Appreciate you. Yeah, Lions and Rams game. Dude, that was a really good match. A lot of people thought it was going to be a higher scoring affair, just because it's two high-powered offenses, but the defenses really showed out. Campbell, MCDC. I mean, he is definitely on track to definitely be a strong contender, I think, for Coach of the Year. Even though there was a lot of high expectations, and he's kind of meeting those expectations. And typically, it's the surprise coach that kind of gets the Coach of the Year. But yeah, Lions. I mean, golf, and then they really kind of came out and they did what was needed. There was I don't know the tale of the tape, unfortunately, right now in front of me, but yeah, I believe there were some turnovers. Actually, no, there was none. No turnovers, no fumbles, no interceptions. Time of possession was pretty much a tie. There was only 9 penalties the whole match, which is weird, especially this year. So maybe there's just a bunch of bad missed calls, but I didn't see any of those. But yeah, I mean, really straight across the board. Total plays 55 on each side. I mean, pretty evenly matched, and the score shows it 23-24. And so we'll get to some of the picks, but that was a little bit of a mixed affair on that. But then, then we had this morning's game. We won't worry about the other ones. We won't worry about the other ones, Josh.
We'll get to
yeah.
We can
I was gonna say, do we want to torture Josh and have him talk about his team?
It's all right. I can bring
not
up
at
the
all.
stat about the Miami Dolphins here soon. That's not going to make
I
it.
mean,
yeah, let's just skip both those games, guys.
You could.
It's in the past. We talked about them. We're good.
We must look forward to the future. In the past, in the back.
Yeah, it's
That's
in the
not
rear
I
view.
mean, Josh, next year it's going to be Dolphins Cowboys in the Super Bowl, right?
No.
Oh.
No. I just want to win a game.
Oh yeah, got a pineapple cup too, dude. This is dope.
Nice.
I mean, at least a GIF in the chat. GIF, we're going to go to the Super Bowl next year, right?
I don't know if you showed this one, but I'm gonna show it again.
I did.
Pain, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah. No. So the the next match though, the one this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this afternoon. It felt like this morning though, because it's weird to have a match at 3:00 on a Monday. But hey, that's the reschedule.
Not 3 Kings Day. Martin Luther King.
Yeah, we make a day. I mean, it's a federal holiday, but
yeah,
not everybody has that off. So,
true.
But yeah, the Bills started off very strong. Kind of dipped a little bit in the third quarter. Kind of like you kind of alluded to, Josh. They kind of typically do that. But man, the Steelers. I mean, just showed that they didn't belong in the playoffs.
No.
I mean, just like the Eagles are kind of showing us now. It's just really this wild card match or this round. We're really kind of separating the men from the boys, and the teams that really, deserve to be there, and the others that don't. I mean, injuries could play a factor. The elements.
Josh, did you feel a little thing there?
Oh, sorry.
I guess the Dolphins didn't deserve to be there.
Well, not throwing shade, but
I know.
I mean, you got to show up. You got to show up, regardless of injuries, regardless of weather. You got to show up, and you got to put out that effort. And it just, there's a lot of separation that we saw, kind of with this match. And I'm actually very scared for next week.
This game went exactly the way I thought it was going to go.
Oh yeah, like everybody. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
They didn't have TJ
I mean,
Watt,
we
which
all
is their best
picked
defender.
them.
Yeah. When the Steelers don't have TJ Watt, their best defender, the Bills have been looking very solid, even though they play to their competition. That's just the Bills. It's what they do. They beat the crap out of the Cowboys. Next week, they went like toe to toe with a team that they were more superior than, but it still took them, all 60 minutes to beat them. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they still were winning every single game, and then they beat the Dolphins there to win. They come back and beat the Dolphins. It was a back and forth, but they still came back and beat the Dolphins to clinch the division. So if you look at the AFC North division, no, AFC East, sorry, division, how it kind of plays out is it goes Dolphins haven't won it since 2008. Then it's a shit ton of Patriots, and then the Destiny's Child of Bills for the past, as far as how the AFC East played out. This is what we, was kind of looking like that, ever since they fired their offensive coordinator and put Joe Brady in as the offensive coordinator, they've looked a lot better. Mm-hmm. And their defense is fine. Like I said, injuries keep, they get dinged up here and there. But they're looking good too. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see next week with the Chiefs. I mean, I don't know how many times, and they're going to finally might shut up about the Cowboys. Hopefully they will, so I can actually see breakdowns of the games that are actually happening instead of talking about Jerry Jones for the next week, because that team's gone. So as a Cowboys fan, it is tiring to me as well. So I understand why the hate we get. It's because they're still going to give us coverage for no reason on that. So
your owner keeps talking. So
well, yeah. Yep. Well, here the Cowboys are, and we're good. And Mike McCarthy is our coach now, but he might not be tomorrow, and I don't know. And I'm just like, Jerry, shut up.
Yeah.
But
go home.
Go home. 1, 2, 3, Cancun. So shout out to Shannon Sharp. He made that joke way back when.
Nice. Look at that.
Yeah. It's just like they got in the huddle. It's like 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Because they're not in the playoffs anymore, so they can go on vacation because their season's over. Because there you go. Another dad joke, but I broke it down myself for a joke that I made that Shannon Sharp did. So that's right. I can do it for myself too.
Beat me to it.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, this game pretty much was kind of paint by numbers, exactly how both teams have played. Mm-hmm. Steelers are well coached enough. That being said, when I think Mike Tomlin's after his contract's coming up, and I think he was at the press conference for 0.5 seconds. Someone didn't even finish the question about his contract, and he walked off. After today, so he was hardly ever at the press conference very long. That's going to be played a lot tomorrow. Going to be talked about a lot tomorrow. That being said, Tomlin has never had a losing record since he's been the coach at Pittsburgh Steelers, which feels like since like 1999 since he's been the coach. I feel like he's been there for my whole life.
Even though a long time.
Not 1799.
No. No. There's some other reasons why he probably would have been coached back in 1799, but we're not going to get into that one. That's not this type of podcast. This is what the show's about on that one.
But I want Tushka to throw up the leaderboard because there's some guy. His name is Jason.
Well, look, before we get to that asshole, I do want to say on the Bills game, just because, and not to turn it to fantasy talk, but Stephon Diggs.
I knew you were going to bring it up. It happens, man. That's what
you
happens.
knew it, right?
Yeah, I told you that.
No touchdowns, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 7 catches, 52 yards, which is actually a good game for him this year, unfortunately. But no touchdowns. Is he still a Bills next year? Justin, if you're in the chat, let us know. If you got some insider trader information. I'm asking for a friend who's already preparing their mock draft for next year. But I mean, is he gonna stay with the Bills? I mean, after this new OC is treating him in this manner?
It depends on it won't be an AJ. I mean, it might be an AJ Brown situation where they'll trade him for a crap ton of draft picks and hopefully can replace him in the draft or trade him for another, receiver that could somehow replace his production. But when your production is not when you're the con of you being kind of a locker room but him and Josh Allen still have a solid relationship. It's the coaching staff, I think, and the OC and stuff that he has a issue with. So it's not a Josh Allen, not like the whole our quarterback and wide receiver can't get along type of thing. It's more of
that's been rumored. I mean, beginning of the season.
I have a side question for the two of you.
Yep.
If you were to be in a relationship with any of the quarterbacks, who would you choose? I know Josh is
yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of like a clever answer, and absolutely baffled at it.
You got us there because I was not ready for that one. Thankfully,
Yeah, that was a good curveball. I didn't know
Yeah.
you were playing baseball today.
Yeah. Trouble with the curve. Shout out Clint
man.
Eastwood.
I would say. Oh no! How old did you say? Marriage, or just love affair?
No, relationship.
A relationship. Okay.
I mean, you can define relationship whatever way you want.
Right. Yeah. I would say Patrick Mahomes because he does he says the right things, but he also backs it up. And he's a very good business. And I think we would get along in that regard. So we'd have something to talk
And you like
about.
that curly hair?
I can do without the curly hair.
It's the soothing sound of Kermit the Frog voice that really.
I mean, hey, we would like to play football, and I like Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to talk to Trav. It was a good day.
Look,
but
nobody loves Patrick Mahomes more than all of the hair care products and all of the beauticians or hairstylists that do perms.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has single-handedly brought perms back into fashion because all the kids are wearing perms now. And it's like, dude, I know you got straight ass hair, dude. Like you're Choctaw like myself. Yeah.
Is his hair not because I mean he is black.
His is probably naturally curly
That's
to a degree.
naturally curly.
Yeah, I was like,
But
his hair is curly.
Everybody else that wants to have that look does not have the hair.
Right, exactly.
So they're getting perms.
He spoke about in an interview once that he's like, I think I have to get rid of the way my haircut is because I am getting older. I need to get a better cut. But for right now, I'm keeping it the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah. In the quarterback series, he actually talked about getting a new cut for the new year.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened though.
Nope.
Hasn't happened yet. Yeah. Patrick, don't be a coward. Changed up, bud. I want to see a kid and play flat top. That's what I want to see from him.
They're on a commercial now, so they are relevant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, LeBron James helped produce a remake of it, which really wasn't that bad. I enjoyed it. But going back to your original question, or segue.
The leaderboard.
One thing I am not happy about is our leaderboard. But first, we're going to go through the rules.
Okay.
Don't worry. Don't look at all the information. We're going to hide that real quick, actually. 1, 2, 4, 8.
Yeah.
I forgot it had personal information on there. So go ahead and email me, guys. I'm not going to answer. And I'm not going to eat this olive, dude, because that actually smells not great.
Hi, Tushka. I am a Nigerian prince. Have you?
Hey, you know what? That's a good business. Yeah. The guy has really very good business acumen. So I was very happy to send him my credit card number and everything. Which I don't know why. It was just kind of maybe just coincidence, but for some reason my identity got hacked after that.
Have you guys seen the meme where there is actually just a guy in Nigeria that wants to give free money away, but no one ever believes him, so he's just in his house with all the money. No one wants to take.
Oh my God!
He's like Pablo Escobar, but he wants to give the money away.
He has piles. Rats are eating it because he has so much money. Yeah.
Good question. It just depends on how far they go. If they get to the Super Bowl, he's probably going to get another shot at it. But who really knows? It just depends on where they are at this point. I would say unless they already have a coach lined up, it's hard to get away when they're showing promise. So
yeah, but this is the year to do it. I mean, we'll talk more about that. We'll get to some of the league stuff.
Yeah.
So kind of I quickly showed, but improperly blackout a Jason Bourne document from Treadstone.
Noob.
Yeah, right. So the wild card round is worth 1 point per win, and then in the second round, the semi, it's 2 points. And then 4 points for the conference championship win, and then 8 points for the Super Bowl. So even if you lose all your games, if you got your boys in the Super Bowl that still have a chance, you still have a chance. Because mainly it's whoever picks the Super Bowl.
And everyone chose a different answer.
Yes, that they did. And so this is what the picks look like. And so, of course, we're the wild card right now. But, talking about the Super Bowl, I picked the Chiefs. Saul, you picked the Dolphins. Josh picked the Ravens. Cheryl picked the Lions. Jason picked the 49ers. Gift picked the Rams. And Justin picked the Bills. I mean, we pretty much covered the spread for the most part.
Gift didn't go with his heart, and he still lost.
Yeah, and Gift, we had to take, again, like we said, we had to take your first pick because not everybody got to put in 2 brackets. So we went with the first one, but I'm glad we did because they actually charged us. Apparently, they gamed us on the wild card round. But anyways, so unfortunately with that, Rams are out. There's no chance for that. And then the Dolphins are out as well. So there's no chance for those champions as far as for Soul and GIF. But hey, there is still very much a chance for you to get points. You have the Ravens as far as GIF looking at you. You got the Ravens there. And then Soul, you have the Lions. So, I mean, if it kind of turns out that way, you guys still have very much an opportunity. But like with any good bracket and with with bracket bitches, it's always that kind of that middle round that really kind of dictates it. And so looking at the divisional, I definitely got it. Everybody got the Browns wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody got the Bills right. So hey, we're at least we're in in sync with that. We're in synergy.
Making it rain with our Bills.
Making it rain with the
So
Bills.
only Josh, Giff, and Justin can win points in that first game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Dolphins are out, Browns are out. So you have Josh with the Ravens, Giff with the Ravens, Justin with the Ravens. So those are the only 3 that can get points of that particular game.
Those aren't. They're not facing each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the divisional in that particular game, the first slot that you see, because there's 4 slots. The only ones that can get points from that first slot is Josh, Giff, and Justin. Now.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm with you now. I thought you were saying it was those 2 versus those 2, but yeah. Because what we're seeing is just the winners. But
right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, some people went with the Cowboys, and Packers ended up winning. But for the people that did get those points right, as far as for the Packers, they did not pick the Packers to go on. So that's where everybody picked the 49ers. So if the 49ers win, then everybody's getting points on that. But everybody's pretty much has, the Chiefs and Bills playing each other. And but it's split as far as, there's only 3 of us picking the Chiefs, the people with brains, and then there's the other people. But like I said, coming that first match, for the Ravens as far as that. And even with that, it's hard to kind of tell because even with the way it picks, there's a lot of scenarios to be at play because the Texans actually could have played the Chiefs. So that was a little bit of a kind of a variable there, but nobody picked the Texans. And we're all fools for that because CJ Stroud. I mean, we got to talk about this kid for a little bit. I mean, give this motherfucker his flowers out the gate. Texans look good, and for their coach, I think that's coach of the year. But Josh, what you got on that?
Yeah, like I was saying at the top of the show when I was breaking down this game, also they're probably their offensive coordinator is going to get looks just because of how crazy they are at the gate. If their defensive coordinator might get looks, but that's what.
Are they a linebacker or a nerd?
Huh?
Are they a linebacker or a nerd?
I don't know.
That's the 2 distinguishing variables.
Yeah.
All the new coaches are either nerds, like McVay, Shanahan, McDaniel. And then the other ones are linebackers.
Well, the offensive coordinator is going to be a nerd. Most of the time, any offensive coordinator is going to be a nerd because the Lions offensive coordinator is going to be in a lot of people's short list. Brian Johnson, some of them now, something like that. But he was looked at last year. Yeah, there you go. He was looked at last year just because of how crazy the Lions looked on offense. But he stayed because he knew the type of squad they had coming back to have the type of historic run that they're having. Whereas
It's a snowy tree.
Huh?
I said it was a snowy tree.
Right. There you go. With the broccoli. Cool. It took me a second to realize what you were saying. But yeah, no, that's where it's going to go there. But yeah, CJ Stroud is the truth for all the people that think that, football is not about taking tests. It's about can you read an offense? I mean, can you read a defense as the play goes on and make the right throws and make the right decisions? He is doing that. The defense is showing out. Obviously, Joe Flacco has thrown a lot of picks since he got there. So this was kind of expected. He was going to throw picks. It was just the fact that on top of it, CJ Stroud was marching them down the field against a really solid Browns defense. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Ravens fare. Now, they beat them first game of the season, and it's at Baltimore, but you can never count. And the Ravens defense statistically is the best defense in the league, and they're semi-healthy. At least they're better. Their linebackers are good to go. So it's going to be interesting. It's anyone's game because, as we see, it can come down to one little play, one penalty, one something, and that's just kind of how the NFL works. That's why it's kind of tough to break down of like who's going to win, who's not, because you can see how it could go either way. Even the Green Bay Packer 49ers game, and the Packers are going to freaking go. I'm tired of it, but they could go either way. But I do.
But that game doesn't exist, right, Josh?
It does, unfortunately. But if you are the 5 people out there that are Texans fans, you should be excited for your future, at least in the quarterback position. Right? At least enjoy him on his rookie contract because he's going to get the bag, and then you won't be able to afford anyone else. So hopefully they figured out the salary cap or something by the time his rookie contract comes up. So that's typically that you have to strike before you pay your quarterback way too much money, and then you don't have enough for the rest of your team.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's really like a lot of kind of the trick of it is, how do you leverage young talent while they're cheap?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how I got my tattoo. Kid was learning how to do tattoos. Incredible artist. Saw some of his work that he has previously done on some skin, and was like, "Hey, you got talent. You're still fucking cheap. Let's do this. $50, sir. Here you go." Instead of $500, like it would have, cost if I went with his mentor. And the NFL is very much the same. Rookie contracts. I know for the Chiefs, our defense is really young. They're on the rookie contracts. Here next year or two, we're going to start franchising some people, and it's going to be a little bit rougher. So that's where to really have everything come together contract-wise, that's what really makes this league so tough. On top of it, you have talent, you have depreciating value, you have injury, you have all this other stuff, but really it's those contracts and can you keep people? We would still have Tyreek Hill if it was baseball and we had like an unlimited, cap, and it was just as long as we could get somebody to pay for that person, then they're playing for the team.
I'm surprised we got him from you guys, honestly, but I'm happy that we did.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, and we want him to get his money. Yeah. Because we love Tyreek Hill, but it was just one of those things where it's like, man, we just can't afford you. Like you're too good, you have too high of value, and we just can't afford you. And so that's where there was just mutual parting of ways. And with those trades, we actually used those picks to get a lot of the defense that the Chiefs have now. So that very defense, that's where it's really cathartic for Justin Reed to be stripping the ball from Tyreek Hill, because he was one of the draft picks that we used. So, that's where across the league, that's really how it is just really trying to use a lot of this young talent. And there's a lot of good talent that, there's a draft every year of these good players, but it just seems like there's a little bit of a different caliber, a little bit of a different generation of talent that's kind of evolved. Even some of the previous players, NFL players, are talking about it, where everybody just seems bigger and faster now. Like you have these, like tall ass, cornerbacks and these tall ass linebackers and everybody that's doing 4.4s, and they're still like 250, 300 pounds. Whereas before, you look at what was it, Joe Tuna? What was the guy with the Ravens that basically just 400 pounds and just couldn't run, but he was a big wall that you just couldn't block. The league definitely changed in that manner. Yeah,
that comes with just the science and science getting better, science, health, knowing more about bodies than we've ever known before, and how to treat injuries, how to treat fatigue, how to treat just rest, knowing like literally having these players on a schedule where it's just like, okay, you're doing this for this many hours, and then you're doing this for this many hours, and then this is when you're going to eat. And literally it's like down to a T.
No, it's just steroids, guys. Come on, just be real.
Yeah, but I mean, because when you look at the MCU and how they're able to jock some people, in a short term, steroids could definitely be, a play, but you do see it, like the sports medicine and the sports science behind it is incredible now. I mean, because we have so much data that they're tracking. Everything has a track now, as far as a GPS tracker, and that they're all, for COVID, they were wearing wristbands. I think they're still having it now too, where, I mean, it's just tracking all their vitals, and they're looking at it and they're making a lot of data driven decisions. But, even the kinesiology tape, that's where me as a drummer, that's where I'm actually trying to look at what other drummers are doing, because that's a big part is, I have back pain, I have shoulder pain, getting older. And it's like, how do I keep this going? What do I need to do to prolong this as a career, or just, to be able to enjoy it? And so that's where it's going to be interesting, just kind of see what the league does. I mean, if, as that gets better and athletes maybe at an earlier stage are taking better care of the bodies, what does the longevity of their contracts look like? Or is the league just going to go short term? Because, we kind of started about talking about coaches. I mean, how many coaches have, been fired or left? And one has officially retired. The other one hasn't really said anything yet. And there's a lot of vacancies. I mean, this may be one of the biggest, coach free agencies that we've seen in quite some time. And so I think that's where, kind of talking about the Bills, that you may see a lot of teams that wouldn't have really thought to get rid of their individual so soon, but they see how good of a year it is and how many coaches are available, that they may just be like, yep, just get out there. Like we're just going to do this, 10, 15 team rotation, and we're all going to try different people out. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, but.
And one thing too that I've just noticed in other sports, and especially as you guys know here, I follow soccer. Like players are playing for longer than they've ever played before.
Yeah.
Where before, like if you were 30 years old, you were fucking old, and you had maybe like 2 years left of your career, and then you were retiring. And now we have people like 40 playing the sport still.
Yeah, Tom Brady was what, 44, 43?
Yeah.
Left? Yeah. And that's football. That's high impact.
Yeah.
I mean, soccer is as well. I mean, it's very demanding because stamina wise.
Yeah.
Baseball, I'm not sure what the kind of life expectancy or career expectancy is on that one, but
I mean, they could. There's a lot of players. Depends on what type of position you play.
Yeah.
You can go from like pitchers. Their careers are a little bit shorter just because it just depends on how. I mean, your arm and how many Tommy John surgeries and stuff like that. So pitchers, it depends on your pitch. That's why they they're monitoring pitch counts, stuff like that. I forgot who the guy played for the Nationals. He was like the first big one that they were talking about. Putting him on a pitch count and stuff like that.
And if you're a DH, you can go forever.
yeah. Strasburg. Anyway, for the Nationals, they ended up winning World Series with him, but yeah, he was anyway.
I said, sounds good.
Rowan Gardner.
Bumgarner?
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Gardenhoser. But no, but for baseball players, it just like, it all depends on the position. Cause sometimes if you're good at it, I mean, Jeter played for 20 years, it felt like, and, and most baseball players, you don't have to go to college if you don't want to. You can be, you can get drafted right out of, if you're.
I mean, Mahomes was drafted right out of high school. He didn't go, but he was drafted right out of high school.
Yeah.
So, right. Yeah, as far as baseball.
Yeah.
I was like, my brain just broke.
Yeah. I could tell. I was like, first, I'm like, what?
Patrick Mahomes was drafted for 2 sports, guys.
Yeah. Yep. And Kyler Murray.
Yep.
Kyler Murray as well.
Kyler Murray was. There's a couple of people like that's why Braden Whedon that played for Oklahoma State and then he went to the Browns for a hot minute. He was drafted, went and did a bunch of baseball stuff. Then went to college because he had eligibility because he never hired. I don't know how it worked, but he ended up going to college and graduated before COVID and all that stuff. And he was like 28 when he came out of college because he did baseball for a little bit and it just didn't work.
Speaking of, he was only drafted in one sport, but it's not the sport that he currently plays. The kicker for the Cowboys was drafted for the MLS.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Aubrey. Yeah.
Aubrey. Yeah. So
awesome. Well, yeah. Well, hey, we are at 45 minutes, so I know we got some people patiently waiting to find out if they're winning or not. But yeah, no, we're going to jump into it. Let's go ahead and get up the leaderboard.
I mean, I teased it earlier.
We don't have to worry about the first name. Coming in second place, Cheryl. Cheryl, you're coming in second place. Good job, girl. You win. We're just gonna give it to you right now. Don't worry about whoever tar ass is.
Tar ass. That's it. Tar ass for life.
I was trying to think of a mock word for it. Tar hell.
I mean, he is a heel.
Yeah. No, he definitely.
There
is.
you go. Wrestling terms. Good job, Soul.
But yeah, no, Tar Heel Alive coming to first place at 4. Picking the 49ers for the Super Bowl. What a basic bitch. That's what everybody's saying. It's going to be the 49ers. You're tough. Good job. But no, he is very good at this stuff, unfortunately.
Hello, Jeremy.
Hey, what's going on, Jeremy? What's up, Okie? Cheryl coming in second place, though, with 3 points. Picking the Detroit Lions, still very much a strong contender. And then myself coming in with my heart picking the Chiefs. After this week, I feel a lot better about that because they did look a lot better. And I was proud of our defense. Offense still has some things to kind of shore up and get better at, but hopefully
Do we
we're
know
not playing.
how Mahomes' helmet will be in the next game?
Well, it's not going to be negative 28 degrees.
Yeah.
And so here he has a new helmet, anyways. But yeah, that was pretty epic. Gift coming in, and we have a tie for a second. That is the 3-way tie. Then Gift as well, coming with 3 points, and picking the Rams, which unfortunately the Hollywood Elite did not survive the battle against the Lions. But he still very much has a chance because he does have 14 possible points. It looks low now, but that could very much swing here soon enough. But then we got Justin coming in with with 2 current points, 21 points available, and picking the Buffalo Bills. And that is very much a possibility. Then Sol, you got 2 points as well. And you got the Miami Dolphins. Fortunately, that is no longer a possibility. But depending on your bracket, you still very much have a chance. And then Josh, I know it's been a rough weekend for you, bud. But getting 1 point, you got the Ravens, and that is one of the other favorites to go to the Super Bowl, if not win it, especially for the AFC, because the AFC is essentially the SEC of the NFL. Right?
I mean, I'm not last, so that makes me feel.
Well, I mean, according to Ricky Bobby, we're all last, except Jason, because if we're not first, you're last.
Jeremy goes, the Cowboys want to rip my heart out, but as long as the Lions or Bills win, I'll be happy. They ripped Josh's heart out as well. And he says the Eagles are choking hard.
Yeah. They've been choking for a month, Doug.
Yeah.
So, yes, they've been choking hard for a month. They look terrible.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like they're going to get early vacation. Right now, the score is 25-9. With 11 minutes left in the match, and the Buccaneers have the ball.
That insufferable city.
Yeah.
So, I guess we can talk about the other 2 games if you all want to. Those are the only 2 games we didn't talk about. So, I mean, Tushka's happy about one of them. So, but
it's bittersweet.
Yeah. So, I always said that the Cowboys and the Dolphins are literally the Spider-Man meme, just pointing at each other. They're exactly the same team. And guess what? They look like exactly the same team. 2 teams that did not want to be there. That's what it looked like to me.
I mean, it was cold, so I wouldn't want to be there either.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cowboys have no excuse. They've won 16 home games in a row and then came out and Dak Prescott played like he didn't know how football worked anymore.
And I mean, you guys were inside too.
Yeah. Oh, no. Keep pouring on, Sol. I was there in spirit, not there physically. as the rest of my family, I can just the Cowboys got beat so bad. My family, who are all Packers fans, called me just to make sure I was okay, not to talk crap. I make sure I was okay because this beatdown was so bad. As soon as
That's
Dak
nice
threw
of him.
that pick six, that was it. That was all she wrote.
Nah.
And our defense, like they decided to go. They've been playing man all season and trying to get after the quarterback, and they go zone for most of the time. Jordan Love was making Aaron Rodgers throws. I mean, it was just they looked more prepared. They looked like they wanted to be there. And the Cowboys just thought it was just another like preseason game. It was just terrible. And this is what it's like to be a Cowboys fan because they give it. It's worse than sometimes I felt like it was worse than being a Lions fan because you knew what the Lions were going to do. The Cowboys always gave you hope going into a season, and then they act like they give you hope, and then they get to the playoffs and they do this every single year for 29 years.
I mean, Cristela Alonso said that the Cowboys are like a bad boyfriend, that they give you hope and promise. They promise you for a ring. I swear, I'm going to get you a ring this year, baby, and then they don't.
I mean, it's like the toxic relationship, but they do just enough to keep you there, and then when you're like, all right, it's good, and then you pop the question, or you like go to pop the question, they're like, oh, I've got to go to do Cancun or something like that. Like they just decide it's not. As soon as you put the ring on it, they just don't give a shit anymore. And of course, the Cowboys are never going to put another ring on it the way it's going. So that's just how it is. And the Miami Dolphins, I mean. Here's a stat that's going to hurt you, Soul. Since the Detroit Lions won a playoff game, the Miami Dolphins now own the longest streak to not win a playoff game. Congratulations, Miami. You're going to be talked about until you do it. So, yeah.
Hey, we are building up our Curse of the Bambino. So when we win, it's going to feel so sweet.
Yeah. And the Packers are the youngest, like the second youngest team ever to make the playoffs, and they look like a veteran team over the supposed to be the veteran, more seasoned team. So,
yeah. Well, and the undefeated, at home Cowboys. Jeremy Miller saying I'm more glad we lost the team. We lost the team is too small. McCarthy and Dan Quinn need to go, but I don't know if Jerry will fire him or get a better coach. Well, Dan Quinn may be leaving no matter what.
He might get a head coaching job.
Yeah, I think they're looking Seattle is one of the big rumors there.
He was, because he's a Pete Carroll disciple. He was there. He was like the main dude of the Legion of Boom as far as the DC. Now, obviously, it has a lot to do with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is a defensive-minded coach, but he was kind of the main. He was at Seattle when they won their Super Bowl, and then he went to the Falcons after that, which actually he was the defensive coordinator for the Florida Gators when Louisville beat them in the Sugar Bowl. Just throw out a little nugget there for that.
I mean, I'm fine with that because I don't like the Gators.
Yeah. So, but no, it'll be interesting. A lot of people are throwing Bill Belichick. If you think Jerry Jones and Bill Belichick can coexist, you could just buy a lottery ticket because you're going to win.
That and like have Hard Knocks be Cowboys, so we could just get the behind the scenes of that, because that is just good reality TV.
Yeah, I'm surprised Jerry doesn't have his own reality show. I mean, they had the Cowboy Cheerleaders, series, but I'm surprised he hasn't really done that himself, just to film his own.
He wants to, but a lot of PR people get in front of him and just go, "Oh no, we got X, Y, and Z for you to do, Jerry," and he goes, "Oh, okay." So, Jerry brought me 3 Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. If him and Jimmy Johnson would have coexisted, who knows how many we would have. Literally, the Cowboys Jimmy Johnson built that team so well back in the 90s that Barry Switzer could take over and just ride the coattails of how good that team was.
Hey, as an Oklahoma Sooner fan, don't you talk shit on Barry. I actually got to sit down on a couch with Barry and watch part of a Cowboys game.
I got a question for both the chat and the two of you. So in the chat, write it. If you could change one thing and only one thing about your team, what would you do?
It's really more a league rule. I just wish it wasn't illegal to add stick them to your hands because the Chiefs really need to learn how to catch the ball.
Give me Lamar Jackson.
That would be interesting.
In the offseason, I was like, there's if you thought I was insufferable talking about Lamar Jackson before, if he puts on a Cowboys jersey, I don't know what I would do. I really would.
You would cry.
No. I probably would have had just I don't know. It would have been like we won the Super Bowl. I didn't care. It's never gonna happen, but I'm glad that he stuck with
the Cowboys could lose every single game and he still would be like the happiest person in the world.
Oh, dude, yeah. So no, if I would change one thing, I would say give me Lamar Jackson on that team, and I would think they would be better. I mean, who knows? It depends on the organization and things around you. Like I said, I'm glad Lamar stuck with Baltimore because it just works. That team just works for what it is. And I just want him to. I'm glad that the Browns actually didn't move on, because if Joe Flacco and the Browns beat Lamar, that's it. That's all there is. That was it. But now if they should still beat the Texans, granted, but it's not going to be as big of a punch in the gut if they would have lost to the Cleveland Browns and Joe Flacco. But the only team that can beat Baltimore the way it looks is Baltimore. But 2 weeks off, how rusty you're going to be, we shall see.
Yeah. Well, so we're talking about the Cowboys and, kind of what the future looks like. So can you please tell us on this diagram, where are the Cowboys now?
Season starts.
Right, so season starts.
Because we just completed the cycle, so now
they beat up on bad teams. The fans get delusional. We the boys, this is our year, and then they choke in the playoffs. Sorry, it was too good not to pass up.
It happens every year.
Yeah,
every year. It just happened to be against the Packers. Why did it have to be the Packers?
Yeah, and I should have added. Yeah, speaking of Packers, I should have took the time and maybe updated this, but looks like you guys have a family photo of your dad.
Yeah. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. They own us.
Yeah.
It's all right. You can update Brock Purdy or Christian McCaffrey in owning the Packers, because that's what they've done.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Fans are always delusional.
Always delusional. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, living in Southeast Oklahoma, there's a plethora of Cowboy fans.
There's a funny.
Any Texans fans there?
Yeah.
No.
There's
probably gonna be a lot converting this year.
There is a funny video. It's just like after the Cowboys game, someone was like, "I am so sorry for all you Yankee fans out there since the Dallas Cowboys lost. The Lakers aren't doing well, because they're all just like huge teams, bandwagon fans. Yeah. So it's like, I am so sorry for all you Yankee fans because the Dallas Cowboys lost, and the Lakers aren't looking very well. Fans. So
I'm never sorry for Yankee fans.
Yep, facts.
No, I know that.
Facts.
But that's the whole point. So
I get your joke, but as a Red Sox fan, I don't give a crap. As a Cowboys fan, I can give two craps about the Yankees. So, but they don't show up for the playoffs either.
Well, it looks like Slade Jr. is down right now. It looks like he's in quite a bit of pain.
Oh.
Yep. And it's still 25-9, but 6 minutes left. It is the sun's getting real low. Sun's getting real low for him.
Mm-hmm.
But so
who is the hottest person in the game right now?
Baker Mayfield, because they're winning. Yeah, and he's also from Oklahoma. Yeah, Jeremy, let me know in the chat. Speaking of
Jalen Hurts or Baker Mayfield, go Jeremy.
Yeah, Texas fans think they own the state now, but when they have never been in a Super Bowl, right? Yeah. I mean, we'll see this year.
I don't think they've ever been in an AFC Championship game.
Yeah, I would think have they won an AFC playoff game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They won it back when Arian Foster was still the running back there with Matt Schaub. They won some playoff games when.
I guess like 2008.
Yeah, I forget the coach, but he went on to win a Super Bowl with the Broncos. He was that coach. I forget his name. But
is this how you guys feel when I talk about the MLS?
I mean, I fake it till I make it with it when I talk about the MLS. I can figure something out that sounds smart.
But yes, it is
exactly.
Especially whenever you name off like 5 names and you're just like,
yeah,
just smile and wave.
The only reason that I know names of any players really
Yeah.
is because I watch you guys.
Hey, we appreciate that. We're glad we bring at least a little bit of education here.
There's going to be a podcast we're going to do. It's called Dudes Naming Dudes. That's pretty much
Dudes
what.
naming dudes. I like that.
Who's the first name?
Yeah. Well, before we do that, let's like some of the Houston Texans. So their playoff appearance by year, 2011, they won the wild card. So the first year they won the wild card against the Cincinnati Bengals, 31-10. The second year, 2012, they won against the Cincinnati Bengals. Sorry to all the Bengals fans out there. 19-13. 2015 they lost. Yeah, 2015 they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. That was 30-0. That was a fun game. I do remember that one. That was not Patrick Mahomes. That was Alex Smith, actually. 2016 they won the wild card playoff game against the Oakland Raiders. 2018 they lost to the Colts. 2019 they won. They won against the Bills in 2019. Okay. Yeah. And then 23, beat the Browns. So they've actually had a pretty decent, playoff history. But that's just in the wild card round. As far as divisional wins, they've had 0 in 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
So
the fighting JJ Watts could only have taken you so far back in the day.
Yeah, dude, seriously, right? Yeah, JJ Watt, man.
His brother's not bad either.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, speaking of
partial
Watts,
owner of Burnley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he wears
That's
the hat
why
every
I
time he's
know
on
his
Pat
name.
McAfee show. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely following the trend and getting into the football game as far as football. But speaking of Watts, though, TJ Watt would have made a difference today.
Nah, maybe you just don't
Right.
know. I don't think so because just how, especially for a defensive player, with Josh Allen as good as he is, and he was, they couldn't tackle. That was the problem with the Steelers today. They just could not tackle. It was sad how bad they couldn't tackle. But yeah, no, the Bucs. Yeah, what Jeremy just pointed out, the Bucs just scored again. So
Yep.
There's Tampa's moving on. So
Yep. So that's looks like maybe 32-9, maybe the final. Still got a little bit of time left, so there could be some garbage time scores. I know your Cowboys know all about that, unfortunately. Because that's where like you look at the total and you're like, this looked like this was a good game. And if you actually really look at the tail of the tape, and it just wasn't. It was just fourth quarter, touchdowns on the backups, unfortunately. But yeah, so kind of going back to some of the picks, right? So now that we know, well, we don't know, it's not 100%, but it's probably 99%. Trust me, I know you shouldn't celebrate too early. All right, hands up. Week 1, you can watch the video of what happens when you celebrate too early, especially in fantasy football.
yeah.
But yeah, for this one though, if the Bucs go on, that looks like Justin. God damn it, Jason. Jason gets another point, and then myself. Right. So if we look at the leaderboard, then that's going to put Jason at 5, me at 4, and then Justin at 3. So we'll have a 3-way tie for the third spot, and then so it'll be Jason to myself. But yeah. Anything else? I mean, we're at an hour. I mean, I don't think we need to try and go for 2 hours. I'm not trying to set any records tonight.
No, I just want you to grace us with Andy Reid's mustache from the game.
Oh God, the frozen walrus.
Yeah, the frozen walrus. Look
at all those mocos.
Oh,
look at them boogies.
Yeah, and did y'all see the pictures of the beer cans? Like how they foamed over and froze.
Oh
in
no.
The game. Yeah, it's some crazy stuff.
Well, I liked that score better because we were closer.
Right? Yeah, this was halftime, I believe. Right before halftime.
That's
watching that game. You really weren't that close. It just didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
Like the score wasn't indicative of just how much the other team was just better.
Josh, I know.
Yeah, dude, Josh. That's why she was pissed the whole time we were doing a show.
So was I.
Yeah.
For a different game.
So so
we say Yankees.
We say Yankees 3 times.
Well,
oh
Sean
my God!
B.
Right?
That's true.
Could be. Could very well
Could
be.
be.
But yeah. So looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers moving on,
Mhm.
them being the 4th seed, they're actually going to be going against the Detroit Lions.
Mhm.
And so Green Bay's they were locked because they're lowest seed. Yeah, they'll be playing San Francisco, which I mean, who knows how that turns out. But I mean, more than likely, it looks like 49ers are going to get the pass there. But Lions and Bucks. I mean, does that fare well for anybody? I mean, other than the Lions, or do you think that actually be a pretty contested game?
It'll be fine. I think I don't think the Lions have a DB that can cover Mike Evans and Chris Godwin for consistently.
Dude, for real.
But I think the Lions offense is going to stack up pretty well against Tampa. So it just depends on coaching. It just comes down to coaching because you kind of that sounds kind of a cop out, but
is it played in Detroit or in Tampa?
It gets played in Detroit. Then the only team to lose a home game so far are the Cowboys. They're also the Green Bay Packers, the first 7 seed to ever win. So yeah, Cowboys just setting records left and right.
Look at you guys go setting records.
Yeah,
taking one for the team or for the whole NFL.
It's just whatever.
Apparently, my family member likes slamming doors.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
I thought it was just Dom Toretto closing the car door really loud outside.
Yeah, family.
But yeah, so next week, I mean, it looks like for the AFC. Oh yeah, sorry, let's get to that. Bucks defense is underrated. Yeah, it really is. But Lions, I mean, they've been more consistent throughout the year. Don't know injury wise. Laporta. Did Laporta get injured? Was that before the playoffs?
He's good. He didn't feel his knee. He caught a touchdown pass.
Right. Yeah, that's. I was thinking he played.
The Lions didn't have anybody hurt. They're always going to be dinged up here and there, but they didn't.
I mean, if it's cold enough, they won't feel anything if they are injured.
They're indoors.
Yeah, luckily they have a dome up in Detroit. Yeah.
So that's a non-factor there.
Yeah, go figure. Detroit, the team that doesn't really get anything done, they get a dome for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you can thank Ford or whatever automotive industry paid for that. But yeah, I mean, of course we don't have the next connecting brackets as far as games, but we do have Baltimore versus Houston, and that'll be in Baltimore, and that is outdoors. Then we have Kansas City going to Buffalo, which will be outdoors as well, so that may be another factor depending on weather. San Francisco hosting Tampa Bay, or not Tampa Bay, Green Bay. Different bays, sorry. They have an outdoor, right? Is that correct? San Francisco? Yep. Yeah, Candlestick Park or whatever. No, that's the baseball.
Levi.
Yeah,
Levi Stadium.
They haven't been to Candlestick in like a decade.
I know, right? Yeah, seriously. And then just
so
age myself with that.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the Detroit hosting Tampa Bay will be indoors there. So of those matches, I mean, any surprises? I mean, we're getting to the cream of the crop really right now.
Nothing surprising as far as who's going to win. I mean, obviously Baltimore should handle business against Houston. Green Bay will play if they can get to Brock Purdy and rattle him and start making him throw picks. Then it just depends on how much they can scheme on stopping Deebo Samuel. I think that's what it's going to come down to, and because Jordan Love right now is playing really well, so I'm not really too worried about that. But the San Francisco is Green Bay's kryptonite just as much as Green Bay is Dallas's kryptonite when it comes to just two teams going against each other. So San Francisco should win based off of rosters and players and all that fun and coaching and all that fun stuff. But sometimes Shanahan likes to get too smart for his own britches, and he tries to outsmart somebody instead of just doing what he needs to do to win the game. So I would still say San Francisco should win that. What Buffalo team we're going to get, and what it's Kansas City going to figure it out, because it's the first game we're gonna. I'm not worried about Patrick Mahomes playing away. I really am it. Yeah, that's a fun word. I am not too worried about it, but it's Buffalo. Are they going to choke again?
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah. Are they going to be able to get up on top early on and keep that lead? because I mean that's where in the regular season it was actually pretty closely contested, and the Bills ended up winning. There was maybe a couple of weird play calls or weird officiating, but it's neither here nor there. But no, they did slip up a little bit towards the end, which gave life and a little bit of hope for the Chiefs. But then ultimately the Chiefs couldn't get it done. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to kind of see if weather plays a factor in it. Butker did not miss any field goals, even in sub-degree temperature. So the dude is automatic, whereas the Bills, I believe, missed 2 field goals. And then Bills also had quite a bit of injuries, so we'll see what that looks like lingering on. But again, guys, take your time, just rest up, health first. Just 2024, focus on yourself.
Yeah. But as far as the last match, like I said, we already kind of talked about it. I would give the edge to the Lions, just because of the home field. But Jared, with that, like Jeremy was alluding to, I think the Bucs defense is a little underrated. So, and we've known Jared Goff to throw to the other team a lot as well. So, but they're kind of really, Jared is not as mobile as Baker, but they're kind of the same quarterback. So, we shall see. But as far as arm strength and all that stuff and decision making, they're kind of the same quarterback. It's just Baker's a little bit more mobile than Jared is. But I like the Lions defense as far as their front 7, their DBs. It's just the front 7 needs to get to Baker, because if you give him time with any other quarterback in the NFL, but if you give him time, especially with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, he's going to do some damage. So.
Yeah, well, and like I said, he's mobile too. But Baker is also very emotional, so he's a passionate player, which helps out in the locker room. But he can also get very much in his head. Remembering from Oklahoma in the collegiate days, he can kind of get in his head and get a little bit too fired up, to where he gets lost in his emotion. But I said it from the beginning of the year. You give Baker a decent organization to play for, he's going to really show you what he's worth, and I think he's done a phenomenal job in doing that, and really kind of shutting down the naysayers, so to say. And they're not in Paris. I was waiting for you to jump on that, but yeah. Sorry, not just, but Jeremy. Baltimore might be snowy as well. Yeah, most definitely. Jordan was more lovable than Aaron Rodgers rooting for the Packers. Maybe because it's in the name. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Will Taylor traveled to Buffalo. There we go. Our first Swiftie question of the day. I'll do definitely. I don't think she's on tour. So I'm pretty sure Taylor's going to be there. So be expecting 10 or 15 cutaway shots to him.
I got the over under at 8.
Will his brother be there?
Who's Pat? Patrick Mahomes?
Not Patrick Mahomes' brothers. Travis Kelce's brother, Jason.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason? He's on vacation now.
Not officially. They still got a minute 9 left, but yes.
Minute 9 to get what, 21 points?
Yeah.
My thoughts of these
18.
next matchups is, since my team's no longer in it, you just want the teams that you don't like to lose.
Right.
So
yeah.
Tampa just needs to lose. That's just the case. And then and that is not a Dolphins fan hating Tampa. That's just a Floridian fan.
Floridian hate, yeah, right. Yeah. You hate Tampa in every sport, and you just hate Tampa in real life. As a town.
As a town, yes.
Yeah.
The one that I care the most about is Bills Kansas City, because you got Tushka and you got Justin. And so you got 2 people I care about going head to head. And as Justin, as someone who has gone head to head already this year versus Tushka, I feel for you, buddy. And just because Bills are in the same divisions as me, it's a team that is not mine, who I've probably seen more than the rest of these teams because I don't watch these games. And so they just have a tendency, is they don't feel it enough when they win, unless they give up a little bit in the third quarter. that they can't feel their wins if they don't like have moments of just not being well for a little bit. So that'll be interesting to watch you and Justin, because I feel like there's just going to be heart palpitations from both of you, because Bills are. It could be a Bills go up and then Bills play bad for a quarter and then they win, or it could be Bills go up, then Bills play bad and you guys win, or it could just be
it's gonna be all the above. Because both teams are very simpatico in that, where they shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not always where they get beat; they beat themselves, and that's the most aggravating win and the most aggravating loss for sure. And that's just what the Chiefs and Bills do. And I mean, the last time we played each other in the playoffs. I think actually no. I think the Bengals beat the Bills, so we didn't get to play them last year. It was the year before, possibly. I think that was the overtime game. Just expect overtime. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm expecting out of the game is overtime.
Jeremy says
Bills deserve a Super Bowl appearance. Yeah. I mean, you got to earn it too, though.
Yeah.
You can't just get it off of hopes and wishes.
Well, they did 4 times in a row. I'm not going to tell you the outcome.
Yeah, it's a Cowboy
Sorry,
fan.
Justin.
That's very gracious of you to not say. But yeah, Jeremy also, I don't know if we got to this one earlier. How do I feel about Mahomes' first road playoff game? I mean, I feel good. I mean, we've kind of had a mixed bag as far as this season, home and away games. So we've lost and we've won on the road. But I think we've got a great staff that's going to have us all prepared. And the Chiefs typically like to get somewhere early and kind of get, kind of acclimated and kind of get settled in. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it because.
Did they just train in the snow to like just be like?
Yeah,
this is what
we kind of already got acclimated weather-wise with -28. But no, I'm excited for it because not that I'm assuming that we're going to win, but I just am ready to try and get kind of the monkey off the back. So much like the Bengals, everybody tries, because you got to make a headline out of something. You got to make a story, and I get it. Like that's what the press has to do. They're fucking bored. They don't have anything else to do, and so they just kind of make up these storylines. Oh, well, the Bengals, they've beat them so many times. Really, have they? Because they've only won 1 game in Arrowhead. They've lost 2. So they keep.
I mean, I have the headlines in my head. Whichever team wins, I already know what the headline's going to be.
Exactly. Right. I mean, they have the script. They're just okay, cool, fill in blank, But it was just one of those things. It's definitely a very interesting stat because it's never happened at this length before, where a quarterback or a team has been that consistent in having home playoff games. I'm excited for it to just kind of get over it and move on to the next. It's kind of like Swift. It's like, whatever. She's going to be at the games. It's cool. Come and have fun, but let's play some ball and let's just have a good match.
So the bet now, the final thing that I have to say is over under. How many times are we going to see Taylor Swift?
Oh yeah.
Like I said, 8.
You said 8. Tushka, what's your
8. I'm going to say probably 10, 11.
But
because we're going to go into overtime.
There is a chance we have a Taylor Swift versus Eminem Super Bowl, guys.
I think Eminem's going to be there.
Well, he was at the Detroit game before, like this past week. Like he was like, there's a video.
Oh, you're talking about for okay. I was like
Detroit Lions,
Bills. Yeah,
Detroit Lions. I'm saying Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, the Super Bowl.
I mean, Eminem's just going to go to every game. Obviously.
Yeah, no.
And then they both jump on stage with Usher in Vegas.
Yeah. No,
that would be quite a mashup.
If Kansas City makes the Super Bowl and Usher's like, I thought I was the halftime entertainment, they just show Taylor Swift the whole time during the halftime.
She's just dancing.
She's just like dancing the whole time. We're like, no, we're just gonna show Taylor dancing to And
now I just have the thought of like if Eminem were to collaborate with Taylor Swift, what would that sound like?
It'd be a song about their exes for sure.
I just feel like. Her 17 exes and him, and somehow another Haley. Hey, Haley's going to be on the record. Taylor Spaghetti.
Nice.
That's
Jeremy
for the
wins
win.
tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Taylor Spaghetti.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, not only does Jeremy win, but the Bucks win. That is official, ladies and gentlemen. Bucks do move on to play the Lions. That's gonna be interesting. Have they played this year or recent? I mean, I don't know, but we'll find out though. Josh, final thoughts on tonight, either the matches or this whole wild card weekend, and then going into next week, man.
I guess go Ravens at this point. It's the only thing I got left.
Yeah.
So you're cursed, Ravens. I'm sorry. Any team that I cheer for, anybody that I pick to win is not going to win. So,
yeah. Well, maybe cheer for the Bills then. No, so what you got?
My team may have lost, but it's 74 degrees, so I'm the winner.
Stop. Just stop.
I can't wait to clean off my car tomorrow. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, seriously. I thought I didn't go out today, but I thought about going out there just to clear off at least one layer of ice for my vehicle. 14 degrees. That's what's here. So not that bad, but still sucks. But yeah. So for Josh, I'm Tushko. Thank you guys so much for joining. Everybody in the chats, you guys have been awesome tonight, engaging with us. And if you have not already, join the Discord. Jump on in. Link will be below in this description and the other previous videos. And that is at no charge for some of the basic tiers. But if you do want to get deeper access, you can join the Patreon at patreon.com/RuckusEV. And there we actually got some new patrons this week. So shout out to Brendan Marr and also shout out to Aaron Klister for joining as well. Aaron's got a new show on Saturday, so definitely check it out. We've got the Game Dudes coming up on Wednesday still, correct? Yep. And then we got Ruckus Wrestling. Are you guys doing Thursday morning or afternoon?
Thursday afternoon right now.
There we go.
It is.
Awesome.
We'll be switching back to mornings, but
yeah,
just stick with us. Thursday. That's the day.
Yeah. Thursday all day. If it's not in the mornings, then watch the previous ones, get caught up.
Yeah.
Josh and Justin are doing a great job over there. And then we got more Echo content coming out. I kind of gave Soul a little bit of that teaser in there. There's some crazy shit, y'all. There's some crazy shit that we're going to be dropping. Probably tomorrow, I'll probably get done with that video. But Thursday, we're not going to be going live, but we will be recording some interviews with some of the actual cast. These were actors from the Choctaw Nation that were part of the stickball match. One of them was actually featured prominently. He's Choctaw and Cherokee. He was playing the Cherokee chief in this one, so we won't hate on him too much. But he's a good friend, Dwayne Hornbuckle. We'll be interviewing him as well as Andrew Amos and possibly Seth Fairchild here this week. But if not, we'll be getting those interviews up probably next week or maybe over the weekend, depending on the weather. I mean, if it's blizzard and snows, then hey, I'm going to be stuck at the computer editing all day. But other than that, if you want to help support us, I know Josh, you got that new light. Looks good, bud.
Yeah.
I gotta say, your skin. I mean, you look glowing. You almost look like you got pregnant over the weekend or something.
It didn't hurt to glow before.
He doesn't look as white as he normally does.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because the shadows aren't accenting. No, but Josh got a new light, and so if you want to help us get some better equipment, I know we got to get some cameras, some more lighting. I know from my bad back, I got to get a chair. But you can help us out in streamlabs.com. All the tips go to the host and helping them kind of get the equipment that they need to up their game and provide better content for you all. But I think that's pretty much it. Did I miss anything?
I think you got it.
Oh, we nailed it, y'all. Okay, cool. Hey,
Join
you guys,
the Ruckus.
Yeah. Follow us at the Ruckus EV everywhere you find it, and we'll leave you on a little bit moment of zen. Oh, how about you tell me about that bundle with those nuggies?